from Geronimo Stilton. I will be doing an interview today, hosted by me, of course, Geronimo Stilton. Introduce our guest, the magnificent Albert Einstein. Let's get started.
What would you have wanted differently during your life?
Either the Nazis didn't exist, or people wouldn't have bothered me too much. The Nazis were cruel to my culture, which are Jews, and if they didn't exist, Germany and Austria wouldn't have such a violent history. Bother me too much, I wouldn't have had to waste precious time talking to the public, while instead I could have been thinking up new theories and maybe realize that my equation E equals where would lead to the atom bomb.
Okay, now for question 2.
Actually, I have some questions for you too. If you were poor and had a limited amount of money, what 3 things would you buy other than food and water?
A box of pencils, a journal, and an air mattress. Since I am a reporter, I can't survive without anything to express myself with. Also, I can't sleep at all if I don't have anything comfortable to sleep on. Okay, now for our next question. Oops, the phone's ringing. I guess I better pick that up before. Now for our next question. If you were president, what would be the first thing you would change?
If I were president, I would make sure that whoever is famous should only be interviewed when they want to. I say this because famous people could probably be doing something better instead of being interviewed. Now for my second question.
Okay.
What do you feel is your most important sense?
My most important sense is either my sense of hearing or smelling. I think that because if you hear stuff, you're aware that something is near you. Smelling is important because it's how I find cheese. Albert, just a reminder, but I'm the interviewer, not you.
Oh, I just thought the audience should know more about you.
Well, in that case, you can continue with your questions, but first, it's my turn to ask you questions. You were stranded on an island. What are the first 3 things that you would bring?
Food, water, and my imagination. Food and water so I won't starve to death, and my imagination so I could think up new theories on the island. My turn to ask you a question now, right?
Right.
If you had to write a 400-page book, what would the book be about?
The book would be about the Rodents Gazette, where I do my reporting job, of course. When reporting, I also write fantasy stories, and I think the readers might be interested in a book about where those stories came from.
You know, Albert, you wouldn't make a bad interviewer yourself. Now for my 4th question. If you had to play a role in any play, what would the play be about, and who would you be?
If I were in a play, the play would be The Wizard of Oz. It would be that because I like entertainment with creative plot and lots of music. I would probably be one of the talking trees because that way I could listen to the music sing and I could have time to think, since it's not really a big role. If you had to be on a TV show, which one would you choose?
I would be on the show of Richie Rich. I would be in that show because A, I'd be rich, B, I'd have a robotic servant, C, I could buy as much cheese as I want. Now, let's move on to our last set of questions and answers. Okay. What actions did you regret most when you were living?
I definitely regret exposing the equation of E equals mc squared to everyone.
Now for the question that wraps up this interview. When you wake up on a weekend morning, what is the first thought that occurs to you? Why do you think this thought occurs first?
Work would occur first on a weekend morning. It occurs first because I think that I have work on that morning and I was late for it. When I get to work and see that nobody else is there, I remember that it's a weekend. Well, I guess that's all the questions for today. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you next week. Thank you, Albert, for coming, and good night, everyone.